Hello, it's Ari here from Ari's Tech channel, and today we will be learning how to create a file in Python, how to run it, and the results. So first off, you're going to need to open up idle. In the last episode, we installed Python, and this will have installed idle with it. If you're on Windows, you can know this by looking down in the corner. If you see a search bar, you're on Windows. If you see a dock like I have, you are on Mac. So if you're on Windows, you want to hit the search bar down in there and type in capitals like this, IDLE, idle. And if you're on Mac, you want to hit Command Space and type in idle and hit Enter, and it should give you this. So you can create a file from here by either hitting File, New File, or pressing Command N or Control N on Windows. Now, I'm just going to create it, and you should see this window, and you'll be able to type code in this. But there's two asterisks, I think that's what they are, beside the name for you've made unsaved changes you may need to save. So we're just gonna hit Command and S, or on Windows that's Control and S, and save as. We're going to save it as run.py, and why not? Let's save it to documents. I'll click save, and yeah, as you can see, it says location up here, run.py in users RE documents, and let's start typing some code. So print is a standard method, and the way you know it's a method is there's these two parentheses, which these parentheses are for arguments, so you can put inside here hello, and you need these quotes. We'll learn out why in a minute, and hi, and yeah, you get the idea. And if we were to type hello world, I know it seems out of the blue, but that's what coders use to test that their program is working okay. You can hit run module, or you can hit F5, and as you can see in the console, it says hello world. Now, another thing, if you have idle here and you've just run a few commands, but then you realize, oh shoot, this looks very messy. How do I clear it? Well, there's no command for that. Actually, I don't know why, but Python doesn't have a command for that. So we're just going to quit idle. You're going to need to quit this as well. And then open up idle again using the methods at the beginning. And it should open up the console. And you can then click File, Recent Files, and you click on Run, and boom, you have your thing back. Okay, so let's talk types. Okay, so types are basically data. They're type. It's hard to say types without using the word types. I guess I can, because types are types of data. So let's say an integer is a number that doesn't have a decimal point. So that's what an integer is, pretty simple. Then a string has to be contained in quotes. That's pretty much in all coding language. They agree that it has to be contained in quotes. So let's say you can type the number 6 in that as well. Let's just type the number 6 in all of them except Boolean. I'll explain why not Boolean. So floating point is 6.0. Okay, So floating point would be 6.0 because floating point are integers with decimals. So you can type in like 6.6 if you want. And then finally Boolean. Boolean's probably the most complicated one of them all, but it's not that complicated. Trust me. Boolean can either be true or false. And yeah, that's basically the 4 most common ones. There are way more data types, but these are the ones that people use the most. So I'm going to give you a few numbers and things like that, and I want you to say what their values or guess what their value is, and I'm going to put the answers then after 5 seconds. Five seconds on the clock, starting now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, there we go. String, float, integer, integer, float, integer. Now you probably may be wondering why I'm calling this float and not floating points. See, these all have simplified versions, except string. String does have a simplified version, but people don't really talk about it much. I'm just going to write down all their simplified versions. Okay, so we have integer turned to int. String, people use string more, which is kind of weird, but they do. Then simplified format, which is str. I don't even know how you pronounce that. Stir. Floating point, because it's very long, they changed it to float. And Boolean, boo. Now, knowing that in mind, how do we define it? So, as you can see, this must be a string because it says it has quotes around it, and Python uses green, or idle uses green to represent string, and then you can have that is an integer, and it works even though it doesn't have any quotes. So we're just gonna do the same test but with the print function, and we're gonna do 6.0 because that is going to be a float. You don't have to define the functions. I think that's the same. I think you define it when you're making variables in C#. Now you can't print true. So yeah. But you can print the string true. Okay, so let's run it. So first Command S and F5. And there we go. 6 as a number, or as an integer. 6 as a string. 6.0 as a float. And then, yeah, as a string. My name is Ari, and that was the second episode of this Python series.